Hello everybody! As you probably know, it's the TheRedMageKro, and welcome back to the post-commentary of Rimworld. Here you can see that we're finally looking at the gosh dang warg. Pause that as you need be if you want to read a little bit more about wargs. So, in the last episode, we talked about a lot of things. One major thing was definitely about Copa. We'll get to that. And one thing that you probably are noticing right now, if you are relatively used to how Rimworld is being played, you can tell that things are moving by pretty fast. Or at least faster than normal. Namely, due to the simple fact that, I don't remember every single thing that I relatively was thinking about when the commentary was technically going out. Like right there, we're making Red the Warg a bed. So it's going to be sped up from 30 minutes down to relatively about maybe like 20, 25, 23, something along those lines. I don't relatively know. You can see that right there. I believe that is Senju. Yeah, that is Senju. We can see that Senju is basically planting, and how I want to basically make him a house relatively down there probably. So that's why I'm starting to like get the mining done so that we can make his house. So with that also being said, I'm actually like keeping track via sticky notes, while also trying to keep track of what's going on in the world. Right here, I'm relatively looking for, you know, other animals and whatnot to relatively hunt, probably. While having a nice look at, you know, how everything is relatively looking from above. Because honestly, like, this little area is really, really nice. And I honestly do like this area quite a bit. This is basically where we were, like, looking into it. There you can see that we had a cow, but it was taken out. Namely because I wanted to start with a cow, but I felt that maybe that would have been a little bit too much. Because with Prepare Carefully, the mod that we were talking about in the last recording, and there he is again, the Destroyer. No, I don't want to do that. I really don't want to do that. And then I accidentally turned to hunt him, which I realized, and I immediately turned that off. But yeah, with Prepare Carefully, you can even set what you start with. So instead of the warg, I could have had a cow. I could have had a Yorkish Terrier. I could have had some alpaca, you know. Or if I wanted, I could have had like a really OP knife. I could have had like a really OP shotgun. I could have had like a lot of different things. That basically I had a choice from. That's why that mod is really nice. So, like I said earlier, there was one major thing that I relatively wanted to talk about this episode, and that is referring to Copa. So, thank you very so much, Graphic. That's some pods crashing, and that seems to be a couple of steel that basically I can just go grab at my leisure. Thank you so much, Graphic, for basically letting me know about the video that talks a little bit more about it. If anything, I watched the entire thing, and it seems as though that, you know, just because I play my games does not mean that it is for kids. Basically, how that means is that basically, so long as I'm not playing like a kid's game, like those really, excuse me, like those really, really stupid dress-em-up games that typically targets kids, so long as I'm not, you know, doing that. I'm probably talking about the entire layout of the base right here, which is why my mouse is moving so sporadically. But yeah, so just because I play games, so long as I don't play stuff that is specifically targeted towards kids, I'm fine. I don't advertise towards kids. Basically, I, you know, maybe a very safe YouTuber And by safe, I mean I don't curse, I don't do anything. I kind of, you know, go for everybody, but because I go for everybody, I don't advertise towards kids. Is what I basically got the gist from. So, either way, I will be, you know... by the way, this is where, like, I kind of got the feeling that things were going to go down with Graphic. Because she attempted to create a romance with Umbreon. And he basically gave her the cold shoulder. So, yeah. But these are... She started going a little bit, you know, mentally down. And then, like, you know, I just had to check, and that's basically how I found out. And whatnot. So, you know. And as you can see, there's a lot of, like, negatives for Graphic. In which that's something that I basically had to fix right away. Because she is one of our higher risk people. Just namely due to the simple fact that unlike the other two, she has like not a lot of things that basically, like, you know, when it comes down to Umbreon's happier during the night. He is an optimist, so he's always happier than most. Senju, he's tough, so he's relatively good, and so that's where I basically decide to make the recreation portion, which is basically horseshoes. To be honest, that's like the only thing that you ever really need to build for recreation, but you can always go a step further because there are other recreation options for you. Now, so, you know, with that said and done, you know, I'm looking at the notes that I basically put on this sticky note, and honestly, like, I do not know how I am going to do 20 full minutes with just 4 key notes. Honestly, I thought that the Copa was going to, like, drag on for a bit, but no, that's basically, I think that's all I relatively wanted to, like, say. And oh my lord, I'm looking at the rest of the video, and I'm probably like a third of the way done. You know what, if anything, I think question 3 is a little bit more, or not question 3, but like, number 3, which has to deal with questions, relatively is going to probably make up most of this video. And so there I am, basically building what is going to be our cook room, our kitchen, the butchering area, all that different type of jazz. But, you know, without further ado, let's go on to bullet point number 3, which is the question of the day. And the question of the day is something that, one, I'm going to tell you right now, I hate. And the reason I hate it is because the question is, what triggers you? Meanwhile, Graphic still has a major break risk while she is sleeping. Which, oh my god, that already triggers me a little bit. Okay, but besides that, so basically, yeah, what triggers you? What really, like, gets you going? And by that, I just basically mean, like for me, mine are certain noises and music that I have heard over my many years of being, you know, alive and whatnot. Because, you know, I wouldn't be spending my, you know, my days dead. That's the joke here, please. So, okay. So, like, if anything, I'm going to give a couple of examples. I'm going to play them as clips. I'm not going to tell you where they're from. And if you guess them right, I will add them up to the cookie chart that I have for Minecraft. So I'm going to play a couple here. I'm going to give an adequate amount of time. So I'm going to be dead silent for a little while. And, you know, I'm just going to relatively let you guys try to figure that out. So without further ado, we're going to, you know, play the sounds that relatively get me going. Okay, so I'm not entirely sure what is an adequate amount of time for me to, like, leave for that. So if I haven't finished, I want to say, like, maybe 4 or 5 noises that I basically would have put here. It'll go on as I'm talking, so there is that. But, yeah, no, like, if anything, like, I think the worst part about this is that I purposefully have to trigger myself just to get these noises and music. Like, oh my gosh and jeez, I already know what they are, and I'm not looking forward to them. There are specific reasons why I don't replay some of, you know, replay some games. There are some reasons why I don't, you know, listen to, like, certain things. Well, if anything, like, the main reason why I basically play my games without listening to music, that's how I used to play, was mainly because of one of the you know, musics that I'm going to be putting in here, and that was the main reason why I stopped listening to the music I played when, you know, I was playing games. In which, look at all these pigs. Look at all these pigs I can hunt. And look, they're piggies! Piggies! I love piggies! Oh my lordy loo, I love piggies. And then that's a lynx. That's an animal that I don't think we've seen before. I believe. But yeah, no, if anything, like, this, like, I don't think it was this recording, but the next recording, I definitely went into, like, a full-on craze towards pigs. I love pigs. So, if anything, I kind of feel like the only one who's going to be answering these questions are going to be a certain someone I know graphic. In which, that's why on my notes, I have graphic in parentheses, because I know that you're the only one who's going to be answering these. Thing is how Umbreon and Senju, in which they really should watch this, by the way, probably going to have to put this in the promotion channel so that they understand that I'm going to be putting them in this. So with that being said, we start looking into research, and I was like, maybe it was a good idea to go into Pemicin, or Pemmican, whatever the frick it's called. I'm pretty sure it's Pemicin. In which that's a food that doesn't exactly, like, deteriorate fast enough. Which is good when you don't exactly have power. It's a very good resource to have. But as for right now, I don't have anything to research, so we just kind of leave that be for now. Now, if anything, we got them building up the kitchen. And basically, I want to think a little bit more, because, like, if anything, I only have one more bullet point, and to be perfectly honest, I don't know whether or not that's going to be able to stand for the rest of the video, but we might as well try. So, like, here's the thing, right? Like, I have a bunch of games that I relatively need to complete on my channel. And I know I need to complete them, but the thing about a lot of these games is that either something goes wrong, or wait, why did Graphic use the door if there's, like, a nice little space there? She hasn't built anything there, so it stands to reason why, you know, she needs more wood, obviously, but there stands no reason why she couldn't just walk through that little tiny hole in the wall instead of using the door, which actually takes time. But anyways, there are games that basically I do have on the channel. I do want to complete. There are some games that I relatively like to let die. And look, graphics are already up to, like, level 4 construction. You know, Senju's already level 4 at planting, and Umbreon's already level 4 at mining. So with that being said, you know, I'm definitely going to finish a couple of games. If I had to name off a couple, we're going to try to finish off Hardcore Minecraft. You know, sometime relatively in the future. Zero Escape is high on my priority list. There is the freaking RPG game that I like a lot, in which I can't seem to remember. In which I think this is like when I start going off about how I like the middle area just a tad bit better. Resonance of Fate, there we go. I kind of want to finish that. That game is actually very charming and actually somewhat funny. And if anything, you know, I like it. I like it, but it's a difficult game, which is why I can't find myself playing it a lot. Because a lot of things for that game just tend to, like, piss me off. And so, like, I believe that this is where, like, I find that, like, I'm running low on food and we need to, like, start hunting. So that is a thing as well. Also, note how, like, there aren't that many events either. I kind of just figured that, like, you know, it's because we're starting. I find some skills stashed away, and whatnot. So, meanwhile, the Mega Sloth is hanging around our camp, hanging out a little bit too close to Umbreon than I would like. He's hunting that squirrel or turkey. Don't know exactly which one. We'll find out, most likely. Yeah, he's hunting the turkey, and whatnot. So, while I would, yes, like to finish those games, you know, they're not exactly, you know, high on my priority list. So, I kind of want a couple of relatively fun games that are relatively easy. Relatively easy, and that I am able to relatively finish quite soon, if anything. Like, maybe not like soon, but like well within like a month or so of actually playing it. And so, one game that I do basically have in mind is our next Metroidvania, because we all know I love me some Metroidvanias. They're fun, they're skillful, and most importantly, you know, they're all in good fun. I tend to like a lot of the a lot of Metroidvanias type-esque games. So the one that I decided that we are going to do, because it does have a second game coming out. If you guys can guess this, I'm gonna give you a little bit of time to guess it. I'll give you a cookie. So I'm gonna go 3, 2, 1. You guys can pause it and guess in the, you know, comment section. But 3, 2, 1. It's gonna be Ori and the Blind Forest. Because Ori and the Blind Forest 2 is gonna be coming out, or if that even is the name, probably is going to be Ori and something or other. But I'm gonna go with Ori 2. We'll go with Ori 2. But because that game is going to relatively be there. This is actually where, like, I realize a mistake of mine, actually. And the reason for that is because, one, if we take a look, this is just overall bad placement on my part. Because the room with the stockpile zone right now is, you know, where we want to stockpile the meat and the corpses and the like, but honestly, that's relatively a bad thing. I don't think I realize it, like, right now, but I'll definitely get to it. But just note that that area is a very bad placement for what I want. So yeah, because I do want to play Ori and the Blind Forest number 2 at some point, because I really do like the first one. And I say I like the first one, but I've never played it before. It's namely because I had seen a playthrough of it way back when Ori and the Blind Forest first came out. And, you know, it's been a long time since I've seen it. Oh, hey, look, we actually get to name our faction and our settlement. So, what the frick did I decide on this again? Rumsen. Oh, okay. So, Graphic Umbreon Senju. So you guys, I don't think I put that as the faction. I think I put that as your settlement. Yeah, so yeah, I put that as the settlement. And then what did I... probably the subscribers. I was gonna put you as the subs, but let's be honest, I don't think that name is very well-meaning. But yeah, I saw it back when it first came out. It's been a hot minute, and I honestly, you know, want to take a crack at it myself and play it myself. So, you know, that is one thing. There's another game I actually want to play. I just recently purchased it. And, oh my god, if you guys are ready for some doom and gloom, oh, it's going to be a fun game, I hope. Honestly hope. We need something along the lines of what this game is going to provide. Also, the Mega Sloth is in the worst possible place. I do not like him being in that area. I think, yeah, this is where I start relatively realizing the mistake, because I see the animals, and then where I have my butchering table, and then where I have my fire. And so, basically, what I had not foreseen was the simple fact that you would have to grab an animal corpse, go through 2 doors, and, ooh, a little bit of love between Senju and Graphic, but you would have to grab the animals, go through 2 doors, go to the butchering table, and then you would have to take the meat to the fire, and then take the meat to, like, the storage area again, which would take way too long. So, you know, to fix that, I just make a brand new area, and that's where we're going to put the food. As easy as that. That's all I relatively have done. But, you know, we're already relatively to the end. And to be perfectly honest, this is a good place to call it. Mainly because the video is coming to an end. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this post commentary. And I'll see you all in the next recording. See ya.